Hey y'all, this is Jason Petrie, and I am here today with ULSUM to talk to you guys about some stories about myself, LeBron, and the LeBron 16. The first story I want to tell you guys today is a really interesting tale about how we came to this knit. The first round of this shoe looked entirely different. We had a thought for the tongue and the gusset was there, but the knit was totally different. It was based off an insight about LeBron's neural network and the synapses in his brain firing. And we wanted to combine that with this notion of sophisticated sportsman, which exemplifies LeBron kind of off the court. We got that sample back and it was not received very well. I actually have never even shown LeBron that sample because I don't want him to kick me out. It was one that we had to go back and heavily rework. I mean, I think we didn't need anybody to tell us it was bad. But what was cool about it is it incorporated the same elements that we ended up using, the structural high tenacity yarns, the notion of a Shima knit, that Battle Knit 2.0, super strong, was still there. It was more of an aesthetic that we were going after. I've mentioned before the genius of our knit team in Beaverton, and Roberto, who was the knit artist working on this shoe, and designer who was working with me along with his entire team, had really developed a very similar pattern to this along the side of the panels we were using as almost like trying out some different techniques and some stuff. And I think it's his way of telling me like, hey, Jay, look at this over here, this is really cool. It was beautiful, it was actually in these same colors. And so we started working with that thought and how we could get the performance we wanted, but also the aesthetic. So we started just leaning more into that sophisticated sportsman. And now you see this beautiful kind of almost like herringbone, which is almost like reminiscent of menswear. But then you get these little hints of high function, whether it be the high tenacity yarns and that anodized look, or, you know, these kind of medial independent diamonds. The pattern actually looks simple, but it transforms throughout the shoe. It's lower here, higher here, but throughout it remains strong, and it was really about focusing on that vision of getting a strong knit. It's just initially didn't look that great. Now I hope you think it looks a lot better. So this new knit required us to invest in an entire new fleet of knit technology. We had to buy new machines in order to build this shoe just for LeBron. You can't produce this on a traditional knit machine. You need a specialized machine capable of combining the strength of a woven with all the pliability of a knit. And by utilizing that, we got to this amazing proposition, but before we could actually produce it, we had to convince a lot of people to spend a lot of money in order to make it happen. And thankfully, that didn't come down to me. One of the best parts about the 16 is it really is a group effort, and I think you see that when you go through all the details in the form. So the second story I want to tell you guys is about my kind of first day and first initial time at Nike. Gosh, it was a long time ago. I've been at Nike 15 years now. Yeah, I'm old. But Nike keeps you young through the challenge and through just being around so many amazing athletes and people. It keeps you on your toes. I remember the first day very clearly. A lot of orientation, a lot of meetings. I actually drove to the campus the day before to walk around and kind of take it in. And I remember walking around in awe. I mean, literally being on campus for the first time was a dream come true, and it still feels like that most days walking on there. It's a pretty unbelievable feeling. As the campus, I've seen the campus grow a lot, both in number of people and buildings and space and square footage. The business has grown tremendously. My most favorite part is seeing people that I started with that have now become leaders in the organization. We were young punk kids, kind of just trying to figure out how to not get fired, and now you know, there's several people running major businesses, great designers, great leaders that have come out of our group. And Nike's just such a great part for all that, such a melting pot. Been able to work with legends like Eric Avar, been able to meet Steve Jobs, meet LeBron James, you know, meet Phil Knight. I was just sitting with Phil Knight in a meeting the other day, and literally LeBron on one side, Phil Knight here. You know, it's crazy. It's something that my dream never went that far. Seeing that now is just a blessing every day. You know, working on something like, I've worked with Amari Stoudemire and Steve Nash and a couple other athletes back in the day that helped me learn and be ready for that moment when LeBron came around, although I didn't think that was ever going to happen. Always watched Kenzo, Ken Link, who was LeBron's designer for many years. He was there when I came in 2003. I started in basketball. I've been in basketball for 15 years. And I was just that annoying kid, like, hey, what are you drawing? What are you doing? You doing something with LeBron? You got an outrigger on it? Is that black and red? Can I put a swoosh there? You know, like, how can I be a part of it? Let me just watch. And he was so great about it. He brought me in and allowed me to kind of learn and meet LeBron a few times. And so when the time came, actually it was a huge surprise. He brought me into his office and said, I think you're going to be the guy. I'm ready to do something else. And I remember thinking, man, hey, yo, give me another year. I need another year to plan this out. And he's like, no, it's time. Like, get ready. And you know, it was like, okay, time to button up and get ready. And from that moment on, it's been really a rocket ship of a ride. And that was 10 years ago-ish now. So it's gone by really quickly, been very rewarding. I never dreamed this big, but now it makes me want to dream even bigger because of what I've been able to see through those experiences. So third story, let me tell you a funny little something you wouldn't expect from someone like LeBron James. And I get asked a lot how he is in person, or is he this way or that way kind of thing. And one of the very special things in my family, and he's such a humble and nice, sweet guy. Maybe doesn't want everybody to know that, but he really is super nice and super funny, good-hearted guy at his core. And he's never shown me anything other than that. And really it comes down to, I mean, this guy has delivered flowers to my wife at work before. Like, literally took her a couple of dozen roses, interrupted a meeting. She didn't know what was going on. I think it was like, she probably thought somebody was playing a joke on her, but it was just his way of kind of, I think, just giving maybe a little wink and a nod to our relationship and just doing something fun, unexpected, something to surprise me and her. But it also speaks, I mean, it's LeBron James delivering flowers, the best player on the planet. He can do something like that in the same breath of giving you an inspiration to go for the next 10 years on a product. Like, that's just the kind of guy he is. Next story I'm gonna tell you guys revolves around LeBron being much more than an athlete. And that's something we've known for a long time. Maybe we didn't put it into those words, but what's made him so special, I think, has always been his ability to transcend off court. He's connected with kids and consumers, and I mean, folks like Warren Buffett to, you know, a 2-year-old kid. My son knows his name, just saw him the other day. He's like, it's LeBron, it's LeBron. What we've really started to see in the last couple of years is him going even further with that, and how now he's speaking out for things he believes in, taking a stand, building schools, really furthering education in the lives of so many kids and families from his hometown, which continues to be a huge source of inspiration for him and us. I mean, this guy, there's no way you could document all of it, and he's not doing it to get documented. It's just he wants to give back. He's just a generous man by nature, with a great family around him, a great support system around him through his friends, who are basically his family and brothers and sisters around him. Seeing his foundation grow, and we spent some time, you know, while building the 16 with his foundation, and that crew over there is amazing. The plans they have, the things that where they're thinking that this all can go is really mind-blowing, and again, goes well beyond any dreams I ever had. And what I think is really exciting and uplifting about that is that sports that breaks down barriers. Everybody knows that, and we're all here because of sports and One Way or Notion, but there's a lot of other stuff going on, and how does it get bigger than sports? And LeBron's such a positive influence out there, and we need that more than ever as a society, and watching him blossom into that and really taking on that charge and that mantle is unbelievably inspiring. It just kind of makes you want to run through a wall for the guy. So that's kind of where we're at right now, and that's where I'm feeling like these next 10 years, I'm going to say, you know, or more, you know, whether he's on court or off court, like, that's really gonna be rocket fuel for us, I feel like, in creating his product. Well, when I see something like what LeBron's doing in his school, and to see our shoes that we've worked together on that wall, which I saw it on Instagram when he opened, I wasn't able to be there for the opening. I was floored, I really was, because I know how special that school is to him and how important it is, and for him to include footwear that we worked on together, I was moved by it. And I understand that as a kid, that wouldn't, you know, like if I was walking through school and saw a bunch of LeBron shoes, you know, I'm gonna be galvanized and feeling great. So that's gonna bring energy to those kids in a way I never kind of expected. But yeah, man, it's an honor. I mean, it's incredible to even know somebody who's doing something like that, and then they're going to include some of your work. Yeah, it's incredibly humbling, and I'm excited to help in any way that we can in the future with that project that he has with those kids and help them grow. We've done some stuff in the past with the foundation. I think we just want to continue that relationship and help grow it as much as we can through his lens and how he sees fit. Maybe one kid in there becomes a designer because he saw the, you know, that's crazy. Or be whatever, just to be able to inspire that positivity, that whole notion, you know, and it both honors his legacy and his on-court achievements and the things that he's done with Nike and everything he's created, but it also just is a testament to his will and longevity. I mean, there's a lot of shoes on that wall. There's big walls and there's a lot of history up there, and there's been a lot of things that he's accomplished. And those walls aren't finished, you know. There's gonna be a lot more to put up there before it's all said and done, hopefully. So just happy to be a part, man. I can't say that enough. So I hope you guys enjoyed the storytelling we did today. It was fun to have a moment to talk to you guys. I hope that you go out and take a look at the 16 and all the versions, all the details. There's a lot to be discovered there. It's gonna be a long year. We got a lot of treats for you guys. The 16 is gonna be very special, very epic. LeBron's gonna take it on an amazing ride. And hey man, go check it out, get you a pair, get them on your feet, hit the court. Go out there and show people what you got. And hey, I'll see you again for the 17.